You texted your mom something real, something that had been sitting heavy on your chest for weeks, and she replied,
Oh, honey, I hope you feel better. Anyways, you want to hear what happened to me today?
"Yeah, that." Or maybe your dad never once said sorry, not even when he was clearly, obviously, completely wrong. Because in his world, parents don't apologize to their kids. Except you're not a kid anymore. And somehow, it still hurts the exact same way. That feeling you just got, there's a reason it's still there. It's not because you're too sensitive. It's not because you can't let things go. It's because nobody ever sat you down and told you what was actually happening. Until now. There's actually a name for it. Psychologists call it emotional immaturity. And before you think, my parents weren't that bad. Hear me out. Because emotionally immature doesn't mean cruel. It doesn't even mean unloving. Some of these parents worked themselves to the bone. Some of them genuinely tried. But loving someone and actually being there for them, those are two completely different things. An emotionally immature parent is someone who never fully grew up on the inside. Their body aged. They got the job, the mortgage, the gray hair. But emotionally, they got stuck. Frozen at maybe 15, 16 years old. And they raised you from that place, without ever realizing it. And here's what that looked like in real life. You'd feel something, whether it's sadness, fear, confusion. And instead of comfort, you got.
Stop being so dramatic. There is nothing to cry about.
So without anyone ever saying it directly, you learned that your emotions were a problem, that feeling things too deeply meant something was wrong with you. And you carried that into every relationship you've had since. Or maybe it wasn't what they said. Maybe it was just the energy in the house. When dad was in a bad mood, everyone tiptoed. When mom was stressed, somehow you became her emotional support. At 9 years old, you got so good at reading the room and sensing a shift before anyone said a single word. People might even call that emotional intelligence. But let's be honest about where it actually came from. That's what happens when a child learns that their safety depends on monitoring an adult's emotions. That's not a gift you were born with. That's a skill you were forced to build. But the one that took me the longest to understand is that they needed you to be okay, not for your sake, for theirs. Because your pain made them uncomfortable. So instead of sitting with you in it, they rushed you through it.
You're fine. You're strong. Move on.
And you became an expert at performing okayness. Even when you were completely falling apart inside. People look at you now and say,
You always seem so put together.
if they only knew. And that's the thing about all of this. It doesn't stay in your childhood. It moves in with you. You apologize for taking up space because you learned early that your needs were too much. You flinch when someone raises their voice because back then, that meant you weren't safe. None of this is weakness. All of it makes complete sense. You didn't develop these patterns because something is wrong with you. You developed them because you were a child, and you were just trying to survive. So let me say something that I really need you to hear. None of this was ever about you. Not your fault, not your failure, not a sign that you were too much or not enough. They couldn't give you what they never had themselves, and that doesn't make it okay. But it means you've been carrying something that was never yours to carry. The fact that you're here watching this, asking these questions, that already means you're doing something your parents never did. You're choosing to break the cycle instead of just passing it on. Right now, in real time. Before you go, I want to ask you one thing. Which part of this felt the most like your story? The emotions being dismissed? Walking on eggshells? Performing okayness for everyone else? Tell me in the comments. Because this is one of those topics where reading what someone else wrote makes you feel less alone. And sometimes, that's the whole point. If this video found you at the right time, send it to someone who needs it. You don't have to say a word, just send it. And if you want more of this, real talk about the things most people never say out loud, Subscribe to Unspoken Mind. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.